Hello stamping friends, it's Claire Daly, Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. Today I wanted to have a little bit of a play, show you the magic of the Changing Leaves bundle. So this was introduced in July as one of the online exclusive products. So the online exclusive just means not in a catalogue, but you buy it exactly the same way as you buy any other product from me. You can either order in the online store or you can order directly with me, but you'll only find it, if you're looking for pictures, you'll only find it in the online store. So I'll include the link to the product below, and if you're in Australia you can purchase it from me, and I can send it anywhere in Australia directly from Stampin' Up, so you get it really quickly. So the bundle includes a stamp set, a photopolymer stamp set with these gorgeous leaves and some lovely sentiments. You are amazing in every single way. Here for you, a little note to brighten your day. Thank you, I couldn't have done it without you. And then it includes a die set. Now I pop these on myself, old age issues, so that I can easily see the so you get this which cuts out the three all at once, this die, but you also get some additional dies that you can use for layering and also for labels which fit the sentiments as well. So they're stitched, they're really pretty. You can use those. So that's the dies. The other thing that we get is this beautiful embossing folder, 6x6 embossing folder. Now this is a hybrid embossing folder, so you can actually emboss and cut at the same time. So what happens is you pop your cardstock in, this sort of clicks into place, and you're actually cutting and embossing at the same time, which is very cool. And I'm going to show you how that works in a minute when I show you how I've done created some autumn leaves. So I'll just show you some cards that I have made using these products. So we've got this one here. So I just love the concept of the autumn leaves with that beautiful texture created by the embossing folder, and then you're getting the definition from the cutting dies and that as well. So you can see there the layering ones too. This stamp here is one of the background stamps in the annual catalogue. I just noticed that oh no, I didn't. I was going to say I just noticed some extra stamping there, but it was just that that was in the way. So I'm going to show you in a moment how I created the look of those leaves so that you can recreate that at home. So that's this one here, and then I actually cut these three leaves out, this one, and this one, all together with this die. So I'll show you how I make the piece, and I'll show you how you can do that, and that created the three cards. And then what I did was I embossed this piece here just with the embossing folder, and then I've just used various elements there for layering and that as well. So that's those two. And then the other one I did was on Old Olive, where I used some shaded spruce and some of the brighter colours there, and I used some gold in there too as a bit of highlight for to bring out some colours in there with the leaves. Now if you're looking for some gold to add in there, we've got a few different options in the catalogue. So we've got the good old gold foil, which you would all be familiar with. But I want to show you a couple, which is what I've used here, gold foil sheets, but I want to show you another couple of options as well. We've got the gold mercury vellum, which is one of the online exclusive products. So I'll get that out, because this would work really well on the leaves. So there's that one you could use, or the other product you could use is this one here, which is the textured metallic 12 by 12 paper. So this is kind of like the foil sheets, but it's got texture in it as well. and you actually get three different colors in this one. So you get this real, it's almost like a cross between navy, and this one's sort of like a real copper, deep brass copper color. This one's like a cross between charcoal and navy, and there's this more of a deeper antique type of gold, but it's got that texture in there as well. So that's another option if you're looking for some gold highlights or some foil highlights to use on these types of cards. The other product that I want to show you that would work really well with this suite is coming in the September to December catalogue, and my lovely stamping friend Michelle Gretsch, who I recently had the pleasure of going on a stamping retreat with, highlighted this to me, that this suite would also work really well with the Splendid Autumn Designer Series paper, which is coming out of the coming in the new September to December mini catalogue. So I'm doing paper shares of that product, doing paper shares for that catalogue at the moment. So if you get paper share, you'll have those papers as well to be able to work in. But what I want to show you is how I created those sort of mottled distressed leaves, so that you can create that look at home. So let's just get a few products out. Give me a moment while I get ready. Okay, so what we're going to do to start with is we are going to cut a piece of basic beige cardstock, 6 by 6 inches or 15 by 15 centimeters. The Stampin' trimmer. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using. Now, because things are getting a little messy and I'm going to use water, we're going to be using a glass mat. So this glass mat was the one that was a celebration gift last year. But so I'm sorry for the, I know that the lights will be bouncing back on that for you, but I'll take it off when we finish the water bit. But you can actually now buy it in the Stampin' Up online store. So it's awesome to use to protect your craft space, and it has this nifty little silicone mat which sticks to it as well, and you can put things like your water painters or whatever you want to, or you can even make your little use these as your as a palette area, or you can take that off and just have it as a protective space. So what we're going to be doing, leave that for the moment, we're going to be using Cajun Craze, Blackberry Bliss and Old Olive. So I've got a blending brush for each of those colours, and we're just going to use the blending brush and randomly blend the now on this one. Normally we sort of start off the edge a little bit, and we can do that to some degree, but you actually want to get quite a bit of colour on it, so I tend to just sort of go straight onto the cardstock, because you can build up the colour as you go. So we're going to be adding the different colours of the cards, different colour ink to the cardstock with the blending brushes. Now you don't have to have a different colour blending brush for you know, every single different colour, but I tend to have one for, you know, like I might use a similar one for, say, Old Olive and Moody Mauve, Old Olive and Mossy Meadow, for Berry Burst and for Blackberry Bliss, so that, you know, it just makes it easier in terms of cleaning and things like that. So we're not looking for a perfectly sort of blended look here, what we're looking for is adding down different amounts of the ink so that we're getting a bit of a match of all of the different colours. So we're going to be adding in Cajun Craze next. You see I'm being quite haphazard here. It's okay, you can do that. And it really depends on what colours you like. You can use lots of different colour combinations, but I think this is a good combination considering what you might be looking at with a leaf as it ages and falls to the ground. Would have started off more of a dark green, like your garden green and your mossy meadow, and then it gets lighter and then sort of gets some of the browns and that in there. And the other colours we're going to use is we're going to use some, now I'm not going to be quite as heavy-handed with this one because I'll put some of this around the outside as well, but I do think it's good to add a bit of colour interest in here. Tend to work in circles when I'm working with the blending brushes. So you sort of want to have a similar depth of colour. So you can see there's some sort of lighter areas around there. I think I might come back with the green and the old olive and add a bit more of those in. I mean, every time you do this, you're going to get a different look, but this is the look that I'm getting today. Let's just go back with the garden green and get a little bit more heavy-handed with that. Sorry, the old olive, and get a little bit more heavy-handed with that one to fill in any gaps. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. Yeah. So that's our piece when we're finished with the blending brushes. So the next thing we're going to do is to lift some of that by adding some water in a sort of a bit of a haphazard way. So just pop those out the way, and I'll just use one of the water painters, the little one. Yep. So I've got a little container of water here. I'm just dabbing it in there, and then I'm just going to be dropping water drops just by tapping the top of the water painter, dropping some water drops over the top. So what that does is when the water touches the cardstock and the ink, it actually almost lifts the ink, and it makes those areas sort of lighter, which you can see happening. So try and do that over everywhere. Might be enough, maybe a few more there. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry, and then we shall come back to it. So this is where you can see it's extremely handy to have the glass mat underneath because we're getting a little bit messy. So we'll leave that dry, and then we'll come back and do the embossing. Okay, now I've allowed it time to dry. And as you can see, the water droplets expanded a little bit and faded, but they've faded right down. And because I started with the basic beige cardstock, They sort of haven't faded right down to white, obviously. They're faded to sort of that sort of crumb cake colour almost, which is going to blend in really nicely with our card elements. So now what we're going to use is out of the die cuts, we're using this big one, and we're using the Changing Leaves embossing folder. Now what you do is you feel for the debossed side, which is this side here. So that's where the pattern is sort of below the surface. And that's where you want to put this. It sort of clicks into place. You'll feel it when it's in spot. There we go. So that fits in there. And then you put your cardstock there. And then pop that down. Get the Magic Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Because this is a 3D like thick folder, we're just using the base plate, so number 1, and then we're using number 4, which is for the embossing, the thick ones. So we'll pop that down, this over the top, put it through. It's quite firm because you've got all of those layers in there. Okay, so now you take that out and voila, magic, you get these beautiful leaves which have also got the embossed, so they've been cut, but they've also got the beautiful embossed pattern on there as well. So that's pretty magic, isn't it? Now what I'm going to do to give those a little bit more definition, and what I did on the card as well, is I actually got the Blackberry Bliss stamp pad and a sponge dauber, and I've actually just gone around the outside of each leaf with the sponge dauber. So I find that gives that darker definition on the outside. Doesn't matter if you sort of go darker in some spots and lighter in others. I just liked the look that this gave. When you wanted to do one, you can just sort of fold that back out of the way. Even add a bit in other places if you want, but you can see how I've sponged around the outside, and I did that on this one as well. Just gives a little bit more of the definition on the outside. You can do it on all 3 of them if you want to, or you might want to use these on different cards, whatever. But that's how I got that look. So there's lots of different looks you could get. You could just die cut this without doing the embossing, and then you could crinkle that up, just screw that up in your hands, which would also give a really nice sort of like effect of sort of a weathered leaf that you found outside as well. So I'll try that on some other cards and show you. But just a reminder again how these cards, I've got another one somewhere. Oh, here we go. So you can create beautiful things with this bundle, and if you are interested in purchasing it, you can use the link below, and I can do that for you anywhere in Australia. You can either purchase online, or you can purchase directly with me and have it delivered straight to you anywhere in Australia. So thanks for watching today, and hopefully back soon to watch some other videos. Thanks for watching.